I know it's unpopular to say this, but let's just face the reality here.
Welcome to Bread Busting by Taraella, where we attempt to examine the problematic ideas that come out of BreadTube and the ideology of breadism more generally. Subscribe if you are interested. Today, I will continue my response to Men by ContraPoints. So far, we have looked at two issues that Natalie failed to examine in depth, that is, how contemporary feminism fails men and how our economic conditions can and must change. But another problem I had with the video was how there could have been some perceived mixed up between men's issues and gender dysphoria. Natalie used her experience living as a man to try to connect with her male audience. But then, she doesn't seem to be aware that, as someone who suffers from gender dysphoria, her old life as a man would be quite different from that of men. She wouldn't have gotten the same experience because at least her subjective perception would have been different. That's why I think her approach here may have sounded condescending to say the least. I actually think Natalie should have just not brought her trans issues into this particular video. I think it is inappropriate to link the gender dysphoria issue with the frustration of men in contemporary society, since they literally have nothing to do with each other. Natalie transitioned because of her own gender dysphoria, not because of men's issues, something she should have made clearer. Transition worked for her because it resolved her gender dysphoria. Frustrated men in society won't get anything out of gender transition. They would just get some gender dysphoria that they didn't have in the first place, and later on a huge medical bill to reverse all the changes. I'm actually quite worried that an overall message could be received by some, even if just subconsciously, that gender transition could be a solution for frustrated men. The fact that Natalie actually joked about this is particularly worrying. Gender dysphoria is a serious matter. Gender transition is a serious matter, and it's time we reinforced these facts. In fact, back in the day, trans websites often featured statements like how gender dysphoria is statistically uncommon, that you are unlikely to be trans if you are unsure, that transition is a serious matter and is not for most people, and that not fitting gender stereotypes doesn't mean you're trans, just in case people take the trans information the wrong way. While the reality of gender transition isn't as bleak as some of those sites suggested, I still think trans people have a reasonable responsibility to prevent non-trans people from needlessly having an episode of gender confusion with all the danger that entails. Lately, I have been noticing quite a lot of Natalie's fans saying that they are embarking on an exploration of their gender identity, even though they never had to question their gender before watching her videos. While some of these may represent actual trans or non-binary people, I am frankly worried that there could be cases of cis people over-identifying with the trans narrative present in Natalie's videos, especially since they contain an unusual amount of in-depth detail into what being trans is like. A joke that trivializes the matter of gender dysphoria is especially inappropriate in this context. That's all for today. I'll be back next time to discuss another big idea. Subscribe if you want to follow our story. The transcripts are available on the internet. And remember to resist the hive mind and stay individualistic. The world depends on it.